Perfect. Hi, how are you both doing today?
Doing great, doing great. It's awesome to talk to you. I love your plant on the side of your background.
Thank you.
Yeah, doing well. Really excited to be in dialogue. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to jump right in. I love the documentary, watched it last
Mm.
night. I think you both should be very proud. I think that I really felt like I was growing with you throughout the whole thing. And I mean, just to start us off, Jazmin, can I go to you and just kind of talk about what sparked your interest in Mavis Beacon? And, was there a specific time or realization that you knew this story you wanted to tell?
Yeah, I am a product of the internet age. And so I grew up online and for better or for worse. And my ability to exist in this like digital realm and go on to make post-internet art and be an e-girl detective, I believe all of that was really instigated by Mavis Beacon's presence in my early childhood. So yeah, she was my first typing teacher, my only typing teacher, my first Black teacher. And in 2018, at the age of 28, I was like wondering, oh, whatever happened to Mavis Beacon? And specifically, I was really interested in the decision to cast a Black woman as this fictional typing teacher. And so, yeah, the research led me to some mysterious places. I had a lot of questions. I was very much thinking about Cheryl Denier's Watermelon Woman in terms of this, like, oh, there's a story here. And after doing about 2 years of research, I encountered Olivia's theoretical work. And the rest is history. Sent a DM and said, hey, you're amazing and I want to be your friend. Can we do this together?
Olivia, I'd love to go to you and just kind of get your side of your perspective on how this story first.
Totally. I met Jazz through like collective organizing spaces. Their collective Boohoo was doing a lot of this really awesome pan-Black, pan-Asian solidarity organizing through the arts. And specifically the summer after high school, after I graduated from high school, they were doing this like decentralized school that was specifically aiming to kind of help people decolonize their relationship to like academia and to learning, and to like pull it away from this idea of like the ivory tower and ground it more in community and learning from each other. And so that was one of the places where I, for the first time, like talked to a room of people about cyberfeminism. And it was for a while like my political home and like where I learned so much of just like intersectionality and like solidarity principles like in real life from real people. And then later on, a few months later, I encountered Mavis Beacon for the first time when Jazmin was sharing some of her research on Mavis Beacon at the School for Poetic Computation when I was a student there for American Artists class on similarly like critical technology histories.
And I just wanted to kind of talk more about Mavis Beacon and just kind of dive into how you feel to be telling this story, especially in 2024 when, you said we grew up in a technology, lifestyle, but now with the advances of AI.
Just
Sorry.
Olivia's emoting.
Oh, okay, I was like, did I miss something? Yes,
Like
exactly. Exactly.
AI is so
Literally. So, I mean, just kind of talking a little bit about how you feel sharing this story now.
I feel really lucky to have released this film in this moment. We've been working on it for 6 years now. And so Olivia and I think we've always been conspiracy theorists. And also, like, me being me more so than Olivia. Olivia actually just understands how the technology works. And is like, one of the things she says in the movies is we have to start treating our conspiracy theories as intuition, or our intuition and conspiracy. We have to start treating our conspiracy theories as intuition. And so, yeah, this film is about like trusting our intuitions and leaning in. And so initially, 5 years ago, talking about like, oh no, I'm scared of the future of technology and what all this means in AI, and we need to actually be creating legislature around and restrictions around how these things are being used on the average consumer. It felt like it was just Olivia and I talking to each other and a few nerds on the internet about this and our immediate communities. And now, as you see, like where we stand in this moment, actors were protesting around their images being used. war machines and robots are really developed in a way that they haven't ever been. And our data is being collected. All of these AI systems are being trained on our data in a way that has yet to be regulated. And so I think this film is engaging with all of those conversations and those fears and anxieties, and also trying to make it a generative conversation and to remind audiences that in this moment in 2024, we have a lot of power. You can opt in, you can read those terms and conditions, we can build the technology of our futures, or you have the right to disappear and you can opt out. And if you maybe don't want to have your extensive digital footprint, then that's totally valid.
Olivia, did you have any?
Yeah, I just feel like, yeah, there's so much of the conversation that like has, like Jazz said, shifted so dramatically from when we started working on the film to now. And like so much of how the internet works has also changed, especially like what the word parasocial relationship means post like pandemic emergency, post lockdown has changed so dramatically. And like the level of personal information people feel comfortable even sharing online has like completely 180. I remember like being 10 and 11 and hearing very, very grounded internet safety rules about like what to post and, you know, don't post where you are until after you've left the place. Like very specific, like, yeah, ways of like circumventing stalking, hacking, all of these like things that can go wrong by sharing stuff online. And it feels like in 2024, so many of us have just thrown those things out the window in a way that makes everyone quite indefensibly doxable. And I think I'm excited for this film to kind of remind people that they have a choice and that they don't have to just go along with a kind of culture of oversharing if that's not what they want to do. And like really giving people the opportunity to practice like really informed consent around how they engage with their phones, with social media, with what all of the things.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, I think we kind of forget how powerful the internet can be. So this is a nice reminder of that. I also just loved really the bonding that goes on in the documentary between both of you and between obviously the people that you're interviewing. So could you talk a little bit about, first we'll start with the two of you's relationship and kind of how that like contributed to the structure of the documentary and how it developed?
Yeah, I've been saying that initially I thought I was making like this detective investigative documentary. And then, you know, as my relationship with Olivia bloomed on camera, it's like, wait, this is a buddy film. This is a road movie. This is a coming of age film. And now, as audiences are starting to receive the movie, it's like, this is an advocate. And actually, we're advocating for, you know, our own digital autonomy and right to exist or disappear. So, yeah, my own understanding of the film has shifted. I don't think we understood how integral our friendship would be to the storyline until we were in the editing suite. And it was abundantly clear that, like, in addition to this film being a love letter to Mavis Beacon, this film is a love letter to like my friend Olivia. You know, we are an intergenerational duo here. So I'm a millennial. And Olivia is Gen Z, and there's a 9-year age difference between us. And I learned so much from her, and she grounds me so much in terms of my own like ethical my own ethical boundaries, right? Like it's easy to talk a big talk online, but when you're in the real world, it's really important to have someone who knows you and can hold you accountable and can care for you. So yeah, I think we realize there's a lot of different things that we're trying to role model with this film to our younger selves, but the importance of community building, leaning on friendships, prioritizing platonic love. These are all core ideas that are very near and dear to us.
I definitely, yeah, everything Jazz said. Also, oh my God. I think this whole process of like getting to know Jazz, getting to know their partner, Yelen, our cinematographer, was kind of like, yeah, my first time in having like queer elders. like having people in my life who played that kind of like chosen family, like big sid role. And I'm so grateful to them because I also have learned as I get older, like what it looks like to not have that like more mature like experience to like help you like navigate the world in my peers, and even just like to have a model of like what health relationships between queer young people and like old like to like what that looks like, because so many of my friends, like I'm like, actually like that person in their early 30s who's DMing you, I think they're actually quite a creep. Like I don't think Jazmin would ever be okay with one of her friends texting me that way. Like there's certain like I feel like my experience as a queer young person has been so normal and safe. And a huge part of that is because I had people like Jazmin in my life, like almost immediately at the beginning of my like young adult coming of age life. And yeah, from political organizing to like even like my sense of style, which is now a lot different than what it was in the movie. But in the movie, so much of what you see me wear is Jazmin playing dress up, literally a doll, and like helping me like figure out what to wear, because for most of my life I was wearing like the same clothes I was wearing as a 14-year-old. And so yeah, I think yeah, I'm so grateful to this, really.
That was beautiful. I I love hearing all of that. And just my last question, just speaking of like role models, I know that Jazmin, you got to talk to a lot of people who were also touched by Mavis Beacon and seeing that representation at such an early age. So what did it mean to you to hear all of those stories, to bond over that, and to now be able to kind of share that with?
It was so affirming. There's a scene in the film where Olivia says it feels like society's gaslighting us. Like we're trying to find out information about Renee L'Espérance, the woman who modeled this Mavis Beacon. And it's this Haitian woman who was paid $500 and got no residuals, and the game went on to sell 10 million copies, right? And so the fact that we couldn't find any information about her was a little crazy making, for lack of a less ableist phrase. But what we were spiraling. And Olivia, I think, in saying like it feels like society's gaslighting us, and then also remembering that we can turn to our peers and community, people, our neighbors, folks on the street, and that they also had this like strong bond and borderline parasocial relationship with this fictional typing teacher. It was so affirming. So I think, yeah, it's a good reminder that while the internet can answer a lot of questions, sometimes it can feel like you're alone. And so the importance of kind of, yeah, going outside and talking to your neighbor and saying, hey, you ever heard about this? Can be incredibly affirming when nothing else is.
Is there any final thoughts that you have that you?
There's a few different ways people can engage with the film and the work. I mean, you can ask us to bring it to a city near you, but also we have on seekingmavisbeacon.com, you can play this typing game that will allow you to not only practice typing, but assess your typing while you get to type positive affirmations. So that's a really cute way to tap in and enter the nostalgic world, especially if you didn't ever get to play Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing.
Yeah, if you have memories of Mavis Beacon and you're just like dying to share them, maybe they're real memories, maybe they're imagined memories of just like reflecting on the like legacy and history of this character, please just leave us a message. We have a hotline set up. It's similar to what you'll see in the movie in terms of people calling and talking about their experiences. And you can call it 575 Seeking. And yeah, let us know what's on your mind. And if you don't like to call, we have on our Instagram in the link in bio a form that you can fill out to kind of talk about yeah, your experience as a pupil of Mavis, or wishing that you were a pupil of Mavis, all of that.
And we have a hotline. Olivia, you want to tell them about the hotline?
Perfect. Well, thank you both so much. Thank you for sharing your story, and congratulations.
Thank you.